Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Mass, my authentic real estate story, where I bring you amazing guests who share their inspiring stories in the world of real estate and everything in between. Today I have a very beautiful, amazing woman sitting right here before me, and I can't wait, to introduce her and we hear and share in all of her stories and of course learn from her. But before we go into that, I'd like to remind us that behind everyone and every great successful business, there is a story. Stories are all around us. They help us connect as humans. They help us connect the dots backwards. And then, of course, make sense of the future and the world around us. And so on that note, I'd like to introduce Ambassador. Real ambassador, fine girl ambassador, Jumoke Esther Rhema. Welcome to Mass. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
I'm very glad, we finally are doing this.
Yes.
So I'll share a quick, abridged profile of Olajumoke, and then we can take it on from there. So Ambassador Olajumoke Esther Rhema of Tama Homes is a seasoned realtor with degrees from Obafemi Awolowo University and the University of South Wales, UK, and has led several successful real estate closures. She founded Tama Homes Foundation, providing aid to over 3,000 families. Her contributions earn her accolades like the Nelson Mandela Leadership Award of Excellence and Integrity. And in 2022, she was appointed a West African Youth Ambassador, and hence the Ambassador Olajumoke. So thank you so much for joining us again today, Jumoke. So I'd like to go straight into it. I've come to realize that, everyone has a unique story on how they got to where they are. So today we'd like you to share, this unique story, the choices that you had to make. What were the fundamental things that happened in your life and that necessitated the choices that you had to make, especially, as a young girl growing up, how did you eventually get into the real estate business?
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure to see you. I'll make it brief as much as possible. Let me start from the beginning. I started selling since I was like age 8. Since I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
8 years old.
Oh, wow.
When I started selling.
Selling what exactly? Sorry.
All sorts. So my mom was a chartered accountant. She's late now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
God bless her.
We share that in common, I guess.
Yeah. My mom was a chartered accountant, and she had businesses as well. I come from a lineage of women who they're not comfortable just sitting still. That I call them very restless. They always aspiring for more. So my mother, even though she was a staff at the Polytechnic then, she was in the accounting department, a chartered accountant. She had stores as well. So there was one of the stores, she had a bookstore at the time. At the time, she was selling appliances. At the time, she was customizing stationeries and books and all sorts. Whatever the need is, she would just be there. So after school, I do my lessons. She saw that I had a passion to sell, so she didn't need to tell me to go oversee the store or anything. If I see that maybe they are lacking something here, I'll go there. I've sold eggs. There was the time I've hawked. There was a time I was hawking. Yeah. I would go after school. Then I would go to the poultry, pick some eggs, go to the hostel, go sell eggs at the hostel.
Oh,
and
wow.
I saw that this was
so
really
you were
moving
living
fun.
within the school community?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was what I was doing. So then sometimes I would go to a bookstore as well because I love books. So she would always make us read. So while there, I'm able to read so many things. So that was my exposure to selling basically. Then uni, I didn't need to sell anything in uni because my mom said, oh, you have to read your books. She had a quota for us then, and that's how it's been till I lost my mom at age 20. Then I had to sit tight that, okay, what am I going to do with my life now? And then I got back into selling again until I graduated.
So you started selling what now?
After
Your mom passed,
my mom
yes.
passed, anything sellable says. I sold okrika at the point I was carrying bale of t-shirts, whatever, Indian wears, whatever was in circulation, I would sell it at the time. So from selling bales of okrika, at the time I was selling plantain chips. Yeah, I would have girls go into local markets for me, get plantain, make it into all these packs of plantain chips. I would sell, in fact, I was selling then, taking into other states. Yeah, anything my hands could find, I would always start from whatever I had, then scale up from there. My okrika business started with that. Then I started bringing it close from UK and from China. So whatever your hands trying to do, just do it well.
Oh wow,
Yes.
Amazing. I mean, while you were doing all of this, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, I just wanted to I like money. I like money, and I like the happiness.
I like money.
Money.
That should be like a ringtone.
Honestly,
we'll make it into a ringtone. I love money. I like money. I love money.
Yes, I like the reward for my hard work. I love it when I sell and I get rewarded.
Yes.
I get to pamper myself, take care of people around me, because for every phases, even when I was in university that wasn't selling that much, I always like giving back to the society. In university, I had kids that had teenage pregnancy, and myself and my friends were taking care of. We go to orphanage, we go to prisons to give them pads, sanitary wares, and all of these things. So You've always
been on the path of
impact. That's why I
impact.
have to have money, because my money is not just for me alone. I love taking care of people as well. So I can't be broke, because I have widows to take care of. I have all of these people to take care of. So yeah, that's it.
Amazing. My next question is a two-part question, and we'll take the first one. On this journey, of wanting money, looking for money, eventually you're here in, the real estate space. How did that happen?
Okay, so my first introduction to real estate will be my mom. My story can't be complete without her.
So that's your authentic real estate story now.
Exactly.
Okay.
My mom, because as she started making money from those businesses, I saw her buying lands. Yeah, I saw her buying lands. I saw her conversing with her architects. She would design. She wanted to build this bungalow. At the time, she was planning to build hostels before she passed on. She would design her buildings. She would buy granite and what have you. So that was my first introduction into real estate. So it made me know that when you start having money, you start thinking of real estate. So that was it. Then when I got back to Lagos as well, while looking for a house to settle down with for myself and my family, I sold my first deal to my landlord.
How do you mean?
While looking for a house, he had a visitor that same day. They came from Abuja. They needed a particular type of house, and because I've been on the look and search for a very long time, so I was conversing with
You were looking for your own house to rent.
My own house to rent.
Okay. At this time, where were you staying?
At that time, I was staying in. When I came into Lagos with my kids, I was staying in one hotel in Thomas Estate. Then that was where I was staying with my kids. Then while looking, so once they go to school, I quickly go for house hunting. So I was already conversing with several ways in which people look for houses and all. So while the landlord had a visitor, so while I was negotiating my deal of moving in, because I had a particular house unit I wanted, I love it where kids are able to play outside, express themselves. So I don't just want to be cooked up in a space. So whilst negotiating that, my landlord had a guest who needed a particular type of home. I think they were looking for a bungalow with space as well. And funny enough, it was one of the properties I had viewed.
Wow.
So while they were doing, there was an agent that was in charge, but all the things he was showing them, they didn't like it. Then I just showed it to him that, oh, what do you think about this? I'm like, oh, you're an agent. Honestly, that was what my landlord said. I mean, he said, oh, you're an agent. Come and see Jumoke. Okay, Jumoke is in charge of the deal now. And so just like,
and that was how you just became a realtor.
That was it. That deal, I got like almost 300,000 naira from that deal.
Whoa.
Yes.
This is waka pass money.
Honestly, so God literally
positioned you for that.
And that was how I started real estate.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it made me take charge of the negotiation, dealing with the buyer and the seller. It left everything for me, and I was able to, I sold it.
You were able to close
I closed it.
that transaction.
I think in 72 hours we closed it.
Wow.
They paid me. I was like, I've been making money, this one is different. Oh, okay, so that's it. Like, you know, so that I was so excited. I was like, it got me curious to know, okay, what's up about?
So how did you then, you know, begin to find your feet in the industry?
After that, coincidentally, I had some of my friends in the US who wanted to buy real estate in Lagos. They've been hearing about so many.
I mean, God was just ordering different people your way.
Honestly, because I wouldn't even go to Facebook on a normal day, but I opened my Facebook this day and I had messages from my friends. You know, like, oh, Jumoke, are you in Lagos now? But we want to buy into real estate. We've just been looking for someone who I could trust, or I know you now, blah, 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 you know. Then what do you think about this area? I was able to, from the information because after I sold that deal, I registered for straight up my master's trainings here and there, wherever I could, you know, to get knowledge about, because I just said, okay, this is nice, I could make money from here. So as I, you know, going for trainings and also all the information I knew about what I started telling them about it. I sold, I think, 4 acres and 6 plots, 4 acres and 4 plots. That was my next sale. And
how long did it take you to do that?
That was so easy. That was within the same month. That was within the same month because I just told them about all the developments happening. They could see, I'll do video. I was being honest with them. If the road is not good, I wouldn't tell you the road is good. That's one thing I've stood with. People want honesty. So with that, I was able to sell.
I mean, so someone could have closed that first deal and, you know, walked away and not have turned it into what you have turned it into now. What made you, you know, decide that, okay, this was the path that I wanted to do? And then how did you identify the things that you needed to do to get yourself ready for this new challenge? Because I heard you say you started going for trainings, you registered for your master's, you know, so what was that thing that made you decide this is where I want to be and this is how I'm going to get there?
Okay. Like I said, whatever my hands find to do, I like doing it well. I don't like that. I don't want you to buy property for me because you're doing me a favor. I don't want to beg to sell property. So I know that if this is the path I'm choosing, I remember from Okrika, I scaled up to bringing clothes from UK. So I always know that if you find yourself at a path, it's not coincidental because I know how God has been dealing with me.
And that's why I say there's always a success. There's always a story behind.
Exactly, because I know how God has been, you know, my journey has been good. So I know that if I find myself here, there's something there I needed to look further. So with that, I saw that there is need for, people need houses, people need lands, I could see that Lagos was a growing city and a lot of developments were going on, and Nigerians in diaspora, they just need someone to be able to trust. So I just feel if I can position myself to be able to earn their trust, I'll be able to, you know, represent them to get, because I see some of them, they send money home, some of their cousins and all.
Family members, they squander their money.
They even threaten them and all. So I just feel this is a need right here. If I can position myself to help those people and be honest with them,
and give them value.
To give them value, so that whenever, even if you're not even coming to the country in 2 years, Jumoke is here, she will help you buy it. You will know it's a good, when you come here, you'll be able to shake my hands and say thank you.
Amazing.
So I saw that and I said, okay, I'll position myself here, I will train myself, any training I need to get, I would do the marketing courses, both local and international, and I just kept going on. And
amazing, amazing. So inspiring, because a lot of people do not, you know, take this initiative. Most people want to make money because they like money like you, but when opportunities present themselves, they are not ready and they don't take it. And they do not know what it actually takes to deliver value on those opportunities that come their way. But you identified the need, you had to, you know, position yourself with the right skill set, the knowledge, you sought the knowledge, you got them, and now you're doing well. And people will see you and like, she's selling, but they don't know the things. And that's why I took you back to tell, you know, the real story of how, you know, you have gotten here. You found that there was a gap here. How do I feel it? How do I distinguish myself? And that's how you went to trainings and education to get the value that you needed to pass on to your clients. Fantastic.
Thank you.
On this journey, I'm sure it's sounding all sweet and rosy. Can I call you Rose?
Rose has stones.
So Can you tell us, what are those hurdles, those challenges you have? How long have you been in the industry now?
Since 2019.
Been here for 5 years now,
5
and
years.
in 5 years, you have grown this brand,
Yes.
Tama Homes. What are the hurdles that you experienced on this part of growth? And, what are those things that you learned, you picked up along the way? What are those experiences that you saw and you learned from, that such that someone who is watching this doesn't need to make the same mistakes that you probably went through?
Okay, I'll need to point it out that the beginning. I mean, sold the property, sold 4 acres, sold this, so that. Then it got to a point where I literally experienced my wilderness experience, because there was nothing for a period of, I think, about 6 months. I sold nothing.
Which is typical with real estate.
Oh my God, I sold nothing, absolutely nothing. I did all I could.
Welcome to real estate.
Oh my God, like, I felt like, do you know that within that point, because I'm very restless, like I said, I like money. So when that wasn't happening, I went back. I went to baking school.
Hey.
Yes. I went back to baking school.
See how I exclaimed.
I can't be idle. Money has to be coming in whatever way. So I love cooking, I love baking. I just like, okay, I went to makeup school. So
you did this yourself?
I did it myself.
Wow.
So while there, I got to know that it gave me a point of reflection that, what do you want? Because at that time I was confused, because
that was your defining moment.
Yeah, that was a defining moment, because I felt, it was so easy to make this sales initially. This was the things I did. I'm still doing it. How come I wasn't getting a result? So even though I knew I love baking, I'm not a very patient person to now start massaging the cake, now start pancaking someone's face. I cannot. I can't. I'm very restless.
Oh my God.
I want to be here.
But some people who actually absolutely love,
exactly
that they do that.
When I see my trainer,
they need the dough with so much passion.
God, I cannot. I want it done fast, like bring it out and let's get it moving and all of that. So I could see that even though you love doing something, that doesn't mean that's your calling.
Yes.
So the makeup taught me that. The cake stuff, I would bake, I'll bring it home, my kids will be happy and all, but I knew I can't stay indoor all day. I can stay indoor all day, but not doing this. I wasn't happy. So that moment of reflection made me, okay, what do you want to do now? If this real estate that your attention is really going towards, what do you want to do? So I enrolled for another training entirely. That the training has to do with real estate. I learned real estate from basics, marketing, everything. I enrolled for a course in real estate, and after that, then I started interacting with people in real estate, people that are doing well. That's why the company you keep really matters.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
if you are not around people that looks like where you're going, you're not going anywhere. So I changed where I was living. I changed my accommodation as well. I changed where I was living. I started interacting more with people that are really doing well
in the industry.
So that way, that really re-energized me. Then I got back in the game.
Amazing. So what were the strategies that you employed that contributed to your success eventually? So going beyond the 6 months, which I'm sure after the 6th month you were now able to make a sale.
Yes.
So what were the strategies now going forward you employed that has transitioned just Ola Jumoke to Tama Homes?
Okay, first of all, I would say you have to know that there is nothing good that doesn't take consistency. You have to be consistent in what do you want for yourself. So I had to sit down and say, okay, for now, I want to focus on, because real estate is vast. Yeah. Is it maintenance you want to do? Is it land? Is it houses? So I was able to focus. At that time, it was land I picked. This is what I want to focus on now. So now that I focused on something, I started relating with people who were doing well in that aspect as well. I was, when you say you stoop to conquer, so I was humble.
I mean, that's not fantastic. So you need to be humble at whatever level, even as a CEO, right? Even as directors, you don't know it. You don't know everything. No one has the full monopoly of knowledge, yeah?
Yes.
So you have to just
exactly.
remain humble at whatever level.
Exactly. I remember a lady then, I would go to her house and pick her up. I would, you know, just so that I'm around herself and her team.
So
to
you
see
were
her.
serving.
Yes, I was
you were
serving.
volunteering.
I was volunteering.
Yeah.
I was serving. I was out there.
And on that journey, you get to learn,
Exactly.
and you weren't paying for it.
I wasn't paying for it. I
So
wasn't paying for it. Just by being available, just by being wanting to serve people, I was able to pick up the knowledge I wanted. I was able to know exactly what I wanted, and perseverance as well. Because when you want to get in today and you want to sell 10 houses, but you're comparing yourself. Then another thing, I stopped comparing myself with anyone. I stopped looking at what this realtor is doing, what this one is selling, what this one is selling, and know that this journey is personal to me. If I put in the work with God on my side, this is what I want to do, I will get it done. So having all of that, with all of the trainings, of course, then I was able to, you know, start. Then I found my own language, what works for me. I mean, I've carried bill to sites before. Anything, any idea that comes to my head, whatever English I want to speak, I wasn't trying to speak like someone else. I wanted my clients to be able to, when you hear my video, you can say, oh, that Jumoke, you know. So I created a niche for myself and stayed in it, and that transformed everything.
Amazing, amazing. So, if I hear you right, you created your voice, and you found your voice, and you stuck with it, and then as much as possible you stopped comparing yourself to others.
Exactly.
What else did you mention that helped
create a niche for yourself?
You created a niche, and then you were consistent. I want us to re-echo this so that those young people watching can see that you didn't just fall from the sky and you've made this name. It took you a while, and these are the things that you applied that have helped you so far, right? As a successful woman in this industry, have you had cases of bias and discrimination, towards home ownership? It's, all over the social space that some people do not want to, rent out their houses, especially to women, or some women are not allowed to own properties, especially inheritance. So home ownership for women especially, there's still biases and discrimination around them. On your journey, in the real estate space, have you personally experienced any of this, and what would you really have to say to both the perpetrators and the victims?
Funny enough, I think in my case, it's been opposite. Things are changing, and I think anyone out there can tell that ladies are really trying. The hustle is real. I love how the women, they are selling anything sellable. I have a friend who's selling bed sheets, and she's buying properties crazily. So anybody can tell that ladies are now really very hardworking. They are working really hard, and they just want a comfortable life for themselves. I had one of our clients who wanted to rent out his property and said he would rather rent it out to a lady. Honestly, so things are changing now, and that really, really gave me like, because ladies are more responsible, they will take care of your property. So things are changing. I think with the way the media and all has been, I think now people have a reflection and be like, come to think of it, giving a lady, if you're working hard for your money, why can't I buy a property? Why can't I rent something comfortable? So in my case, I've never had any discrimination, and
Oh, amazing. I'm very glad to hear that, because, in certain conversations you hear, also within the rental space that they don't want to rent a house to me because I'm a woman. You haven't come across that.
No, I haven't.
I'm very glad. So really, there are good people. That's what it means. And there are still those who hold on to culture and biases. And with a lot of conversations and engaging, we'll go past all of that. So the next thing I'd like to ask you is, you mentioned media, right? How has social media, played a role or a part in your business success? Has it played a role? what role did it play to propagate your business? And do you think that social media should be regulated? Because there's been some talks here and there about social media and regulating social media for mental health issues and co. So has social media helped you properly propagate and position your business in any way? How did it do that? And should social media be regulated?
Okay, I will start from the way it helped me. Yes, 100%. Social media, I got into a space where I didn't have a background in. I got into Lagos, I didn't know anyone, and I've been able to make all my sales, because I'm not one to go around and give
flyers.
I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I can't even meet someone and be like, oh, come. Like, it's one-on-one is not my thing. So
really?
It's not my thing. It's
oh,
not my
wow.
thing. So except someone who's already aware that I'm into that line.
And then has a conversation with you.
Yeah, because
so you're literally saying that more than 95% of your business is through social media.
Social media.
Oh, wow.
Because you already see my shop. You already see this is what she's selling. It's real estate. I can't, if I walk towards a guy now, maybe coming out from a bank and say, oh, come and buy property, they will
first start accessing you.
But on social media, you can see already that this is what she's selling, and also it already creates a platform. So whatever discussion we are having, I'm selling house, you won't buy, you don't want buy, it's already on that level. So 95% of my sales has been via social media. And of course, relationship matters as well, because you might meet someone on social media. How you manage that relationship will determine whether you get one referral from it or two referrals, or they will even upscale. Someone can come and buy land or maybe 10 million today, can call you tomorrow that they want to buy a property of 200 million. So you never look down on anyone.
Yeah,
I never look down on anyone.
I agree.
One transaction can give you 10 more.
Yes.
So that one good client you have, treat them well. You can always get any other thing from that side. Social media has worked well for me. And I think that this age, a lot of people are making a lot of money via social media. Regarding the regulation, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because even if or when it's regulated, I don't think anything much will be done with that, because just like every other consumable, you can tell someone, oh, it's very important to drink water. How many people are really drinking water? Even for cigarette, nicotine addiction, everybody knows it's bad. They will even draw a damaged lung on the pack, but people are still consuming it. So just like every other consumable, the rules and regulations might be there, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
A different thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that responsibility, we can't put it on government. I think that's the way with families. I think each parent needs to teach their ward or their kids the importance of being kind to people, importance of not being rude. You can't just spew bitter words from your mouth. Words are very powerful. So I think the learning and training has to first start from families, from home, because that's the first institution of education. So if every mother and father train their words and their kids, I think that will, because it's not ghosts that come to social media. They are human beings.
They're humans.
They are coming from families. So I think most of them are damaged.
Yes.
Because how can you just see someone's picture or video, someone you do not know, and you're dropping hateful comments on that? You're badly damaged. Something is fundamentally wrong. So you
see a lot of damaged parents raising damaged children who come to further try to
damage more people.
Yes.
So it's a cycle.
Just create the cycle.
So I would just advise that if you're someone who consumes a lot of social media, you want to know what to take serious or not. It's not all that serious. If you're not there to make money, regulate your exposure to it, train your kids, how to talk to people, mental health awareness. I think that's about
amazing. So you've told us basically that more than 95% of your business comes from social media,
yes.
right? Aside social media, what other strategies, can someone employ? Are you employing to make sure that you continue to, because you could do all of the marketing on social media, and in that 6 months, like you experienced at the initial part of your real estate sojourn, and you could be there for 6 months, spend all the money on ads and not make any money. So what other things, help push the business that you keep doing, that you have been doing, you have experienced, you have tried, and it works, and, that you can share with us? What other strategies, help you build this successful, has helped you build this successful business so far?
Number one thing, I think I've mentioned it in passing, but I will emphasize is never look down on anyone. I've met someone coincidentally leading me to closing sale of almost 500 million.
Oh, wow.
And there is no discussion about, it's just by being kind, oh, maybe you want to carry this, I help you carry it, or meeting you somewhere, oh, can you give me directions to how to get to here? Something as simple as that. Never look down on someone. I've seen a client come to site. They were just making inquiries about a property. I think they even came in an Uber. You know what is started? It wasn't even like the very, very fine Uber. It sat at the back wearing just shorts and slippers. Another person sat in front with all the chains, and coincidentally, this was the person at the back that was buying the real estate. And he came down, we greeted well just by chatting, even talking over a corn, and we closed deals. So I would say be kind to everyone you meet. Sometimes I've seen gatesmen show me some listings that I didn't even know existed, and in about 2 days I see a client who needed a particular listing, and I was able to close it seamlessly.
Wow.
So be kind to people, whether they are the big shot or the small shot. Be kind to people. That would be my number one. Number two would be nurture relationships. The fact that you meet someone today, they promise to buy a property, they didn't buy. You don't know what people are going through. You don't just maybe be rude to people because they've made an inquiry about a property and they didn't buy. I think we're all adults. No one will stand up from their house and come and check a property just for the sake of it. Sometimes things happen. I've had to reach out to a client before and got to know that, oh, he lost his mom during the course of transaction and all of those things. He wanted to buy, but something happened. So nurturing such relationships, by the time they get back into their real space and all, they come back to buy more than what I was even expecting. So it's all about kindness, nurture relationships, and also I would say be very focused. I remember, let me use VCH as an example. When I remember there was a time, I think I was looking for one of the properties to get in your estate. And doctor was like, Jumoke, I've never sold any of my property. And not even one. I said, doctor, don't worry. I don't. Because I was focused. Even though we've been pushing it, nothing came out. But getting so focused on it, we've sold over 10 in just a little space because I was focused. I knew it was a good property. I knew it was a good product. I knew my clients would want it. So instead of, if you focus on something, the fact that it's not coming out at the time you wanted, maybe it's not just your time yet. Just like I was just with you just before we came in here, one of the last units in VC, we sold it. We sold it. The client knew when it was 80-something million, he didn't buy. He bought it when it was 100 million because it was time. So sometimes, no matter how much you push a product or how much you stress, if it's not time, I believe in divine timing a lot. If it's not your time to sell that thing, it won't come. But one thing is, I know that God rewards labor, He rewards hard work. So because of that, I'm never afraid to put in the work. And I will tell my team that if honey doesn't come from this side, maybe the tap is on the other side. As long as you keep putting in the work, the other deals will now come in so effortlessly. But then you sow the seed for it, and God in His infinite mercy just watered it. Like, okay, now, so that's
amazing. So you said to us, be kind and don't look down on anyone. Nurture relationships, no matter who the person is. And then thirdly, be focused. Stay focused. Like, I have heard so much about focus today. In fact, one of my guests said he thinks he has too much focus and he wants to know if it's a problem now. He's focusing too much. But the truth is, we cannot overemphasize that because if you are scattered and going from here and there, you will not be able to assemble your efforts and see the desired result because you're putting your hand here, you're putting your leg here, you're putting your head there. Everything is just, scattered. But when you focus all of your energy, especially when you're building, it helps you actually get to where you want to get. Then you can now begin to look here and there for any other kind of support. So thank you so much, for those very useful nuggets. I'd like to ask again, on this journey as a woman, especially as a realtor, I have, had reasons to ask so many times. Women who sell real estate, and eventually, I haven't really placed my hand on it. A lot of them don't even consume what they're selling. If you look around, we're having a huge influx of women into the real estate space. But how many of them are actually becoming investors? How many of them are actually working towards becoming developers? We have more men developing than women, right? We have more male realtors who have actually transitioned to becoming owners, and then from there, even becoming developers than women. So what exactly is the limiting factor here?
I can't relate, because for me,
she says I can't relate.
I cannot relate, because from the first sale I made, after the acres I said, I started buying real estate.
Wow.
From that first sale.
Wow.
Because I think it's about the exposure you've had. Remember, for me, I saw my mom make money, I saw her buy land. So when I started making real money, I started buying properties as well. That's number one for me. So I think the more we educate the ladies, I think more of them will,
wake up to the knowledge.
Another thing is keeping up with the Joneses. Everybody wants to follow a trend. A lot of ladies are making a lot of money now, but unfortunately, they are putting their money into things that do not matter. Lifestyle. You want to keep up. See, when you are broke, nobody will care about you. See all those friends that you see that are hovering around you like eagles, like vultures. They are around you because you have money. If you get broke today, nobody will call you to club. Nobody will call you for a shebi.
I know.
I remember when I was buying...
and this is not even focusing on the men. This is just for the women.
Ladies, I remember there was a project I was working on, a real estate project, and I wrote it out clearly. I put a notice out that, please, henceforth, I'm not buying a shebi. I'm telling you, I posted it on all my social
You posted?
Yes.
You did that?
Yes, I did. I said,
oh, wow.
I said, henceforth, I'm sorry. My financial...
So if I have a shrebi for you now, you're not buying?
When you already know, see, when you can't shame the shameless. You cannot shame the shameless. You tell me your color. I will rep where. I will give you money. I will give you gift. I had to, because I look at it and like if I have to do this every weekend, it's going to affect, because I know what I'm building. I had something I was working towards. I had a project. I had a time frame for it. I cannot do a shebi. We buy 100,000. You go and sew. You now do makeup. You now I cannot look at it. She's making money, she's being stingy, call it whatever, but I had a focus. So I had to put it out that I'm sorry, henceforth, please, I am not buying a shebi because I have some things I'm working on. I'm sorry if this comes offensive. And since then, my friends, when they invested, Jumoke, I know you don't buy shebi, but this is our color, shall come. Because when I come, I will rep well. I'm not a stingy person. I will rep well. I'm not, the shebi doesn't just, because I won't wear it anymore.
I mean, you rather give the shebi money to you there.
Exactly. So, and people, funny enough, when you already take a stand on something, people will stand with it for you. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. So that has drastically reduced any headache. Nobody's calling me for any, I cannot deal, right? So, ladies need to know that no matter the bag you buy, a new brand is going to come out. New clothes.
Absolutely.
And all
as you walk out, they're designing and creating the new one.
Exactly. So the car, the vacation. I like vacation. I like good things of life. I enjoy it, but I always have a focus. For every money, for every income coming in, I have the chunk of it goes into real estate, goes into investment. So whatever change you see, I ball on it, vacations and all of those things. But I need to know. I remember when I was selling okrika. I remember when I was selling plantain chips. I know where I'm coming from.
You don't want to sell.
Oh my God, I'm not going back.
You can't go from being a realtor to being a plantain chips seller again.
It's bad to be beautiful and broke. Nobody will believe you. Nobody will believe you.
It's bad to be beautiful and broke.
It is horrible. No. It is a horrible combination.
I know.
And I cannot beg anybody for money. I don't know how to beg for money. So whatever is coming in, I don't have a mother to will anything to me as well. When you don't have a mother, you put scar on your back.
I know. So because no one would treat that wound. You can't see your back.
You can't see your back. So when putting all of this into consideration, I'm very mindful of the people I call my friends. I don't go into friendships with people who put me under unnecessary pressure, people who feel, I'm not missing out on anything because there is nothing out there. I can't be doing Dorime. You can't be doing Dorime every weekend and think you will have something in your life. You will not have anything, because all the billionaires you see doing Dorime, they are doing that for connection. It's meeting. You see them in clubs, or they are there to sign deals. They are there to do deals. But you are there. You're popping. You're wasting your hard-earned money. I can't do that. Sorry.
She can't relate. She can't do that. She cannot be there.
Yeah, right.
So what are the strategies, to actually create this wealth? Let's say she's watching and she doesn't have the opportunity to sell real estate, like you are doing and earning and then converting it back into real estate.
Yes.
I mean, for any lady who is in real estate, you don't have an excuse.
You don't have
if
an
you
excuse.
earn your money, you earn your commission,
Yes.
take a huge chunk out of it and reinvest.
Exactly.
So you're not in real estate and you want to earn and then buy properties, like Jumoke. What should you do? How can you begin to create this wealth and build it and sustain it?
Number one thing you need to know is that money is like a visitor. Money has wings. Understand the season you are in your life right now. If you are in your productive season right now where a lot of money is coming in for you, you need to know it's a test. You need to, when you welcome money well, money stays with you for life. When you do not welcome money well, money has wings, money flies.
What do you mean welcome money? How do you welcome money? Money welcome.
You treat it well. you use it. You scale up with it. When it comes, you plant it like a seed. Money has
and
wings.
You water it. And you weed the grass around it.
And you don't eat with 10 hands. Yeah, because you've earned, so you
eat your future on one table.
You don't do that. You don't do that. And know fully well that, see, if you want to do buffet in your house every day, people will come. They will eat you dry.
Yes.
So it's not all that. You don't need to show off to anyone. Number one, know either I don't need to please anyone. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have any point to prove.
to choose myself.
I have to choose myself. I could have 10 millions of wigs at home and I want to go on it. I'm not trying to impress anyone because at the end of the day, I know my value. I know what I'm worth. So have this self-confidence first in yourself.
Amazing.
Because I think at the end of the day, that's why a lot of ladies are spending their monies on things that are not bringing any value to them because they do not have.
They haven't loved them themselves.
Exactly.
Enough.
You have to love yourself. You have to know that your value is not about what you're wearing, who you're with, or anything.
I mean, you've got to look good, but not at the expense of your future.
Exactly. Not at the expense of your future. That is number one.
I always say that investments pay for expenses and lifestyle.
Exactly.
In that order.
That's
not the other way around.
Not the other way around. Exactly. So once you get it right like that, just as you said, once bulk money comes into your hand, thank God right now we have lots of properties that allow installment payments. I would advise any young lady, that is the best thing. Once money is coming in for you, once you make the initial deposit, I would say there is power in the initial deposit. Once you make the initial deposit,
there's power in the initial deposit.
Exactly. Once you do that, the whole universe cooperates together somehow. Once you are focused, because once you know that you have something to service every month, they won't even call you for nonsense party. You will go because you know your next payment will be due on the 15th. And so whatever money you have in your pocket right now, you know it's
Wisdom
going
is profitable to direct.
Exactly. And I tell ladies as well that imagine you buying one property every year, whether it's land or house.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
I think I've had that conversation with you.
Exactly.
Before.
So that's how I see things. Every year, imagine you buying at least one property.
Yeah.
By the time you are 50 years old, you're 60, do you know how much property you would have
accumulated?
accumulated?
Yes.
Exactly. Then move with people of like minds.
Yeah.
Either you want it or not. There's some people that in this life, they just want to sit down and be taken care of, which is not bad. That's what they've chosen for their lives.
I mean, when you finish, I'll share a story.
Yeah, that's what they've chosen for their lives. But if you know that you want something much better for your life, you can't roll with people like that. People that once they make the money today, they squander everything today. So surround yourself with people of like minds, ladies who have a future, ladies who are buying properties as well. That would make you sit up. When you buy a property, they won't say, what are you feeling like? You want to go and buy another one again? No, they're telling you on to the next. They are telling you, I just bought 2 apartments in Ikate. I just, you're challenged to do.
Oh, we're no longer doing Nigeria. We're doing abroad.
Dubai,
yeah,
UK.
we've gotten enough in Nigeria. Let us diversify.
So when you sit with people who have, who are doing better for the conversation is different. They're not intimidated by your success.
Yeah.
They're pushing you to do more. Then the exposure is there as well. You get to know how you can come together with people like this, collaborate with them to own properties as well, to put on rentals. So I think once you do all of that, I think the sky is the limit.
Some people will tell you that they don't have that initial deposit.
See, everybody can work towards something.
Yes.
As the money is coming, once is mind over matter. It's not like everyone will just fall and 100 million will fall.
Just follow you. Manna.
Exactly.
So many people are still looking. They're still looking for manna.
Oh, God bless their heart. But the easiest way is have an account that you do not have a token, you do not have ATM, you have like a savings account. So even if you don't have the bulk initial deposit now, have a savings account. You can put authorization on your account to always debit you on a particular day. Once you have a real estate savings account, so as money is coming in, before you say Jacobin saying it's already debited, you put it into that. Once the money, give it about a year, 2 years, as long as you are focused. And the thing is, I noticed that once you get your first property, you break the yoke, you scale up, you keep getting, as long as you are focused, it will be easy for you to get more and more and more. So, but just ensure you get the first one. So you
need to just do something, save money, find ways to make more money to save, to be able to save and put down that down payment.
Exactly.
If you're able to do that, like you said, the universe works together for your good.
Exactly.
And then before you know it, you're done with the first one.
Yes.
And once you break that yoke,
it
becomes easy.
And another thing, let me just add this is, for all ladies, it doesn't matter whether you're married or you're single. See, a lot of single ladies are making a lot of money now, but most of them are not buying real estate. They are waiting. They feel when they own real estate, it will reduce their chances of getting married. Oh, like really? You don't even want a man who is intimidated that you have a house. You do not even want that kind of man in your life, right? Yeah. So I think getting your property, whether you're single or married or anything, because my mom was married and she was buying property, so I don't see a reason why. I mean, there's nothing stopping your partner. I think we need to educate men as well, as long as there is conversations around these things. Because I know a lot of women have come to me to buy properties, and they will say their husbands must not know about it. I think some things are happening depending on the dynamics of the family. But I think for any lady let's talk about a normal setting now. As a young lady, if you're making your money, buy your property.
Especially if you can before you get married.
Because
then you don't have to have the headache of not being able to buy while you're there. But I mean, don't even marry anybody who wouldn't allow you to
These
buy
are conversations that need to be had when you're dating, when you're so that you know kind of mindset
you're very
your
aware.
partner
You're very
has.
aware.
Yes.
You're very aware. Thank you so much. I know that there's so many ladies that would have learned so much from these conversations we've had. Let me take you back to real estate. I mean, on your journey so far, what do you think, in your opinion, what are those things that government needs to do, needs to put in place to kind of really begin to reduce this housing gap that we've all, been talking about for a really long time now?
I think number one is to be private-public partnership. Okay. Because a lot of private companies, real estate companies are doing amazingly well now. I know for Netcom Homes, I know you guys have done over 5,000 units in Lagos alone, just by being a private company. So imagine if government comes into partnership with companies like you and several others as well that are doing well. I think a lot more can be achieved if they make good lands available for people like you and developers as well, cooperate together to build all of these houses. And another thing is mortgage. They can make mortgage facility really more accessible to people, because for now I know a lot of people think it's just for government workers. I know that there's flexibility regarding that aspect already.
That's with NHF?
With NHF, yes. So I think if more people are exposed to that, I think that would even help as well. Then also maybe decongest the very urbanized area. Ekpe roads are good now. Instead of everybody wanting to buy a house in Lekki and all, you can decongest
utilities, creating infrastructure.
Exactly. Infrastructures are there now. Put industries there. Put a school there.
So that's part of the infrastructure.
Exactly.
So all of those infrastructures, they need to begin to expand outside of the city center.
Exactly. That would really help as well. Then
amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you. Even I have learned a lot.
Thank you.
And I am very sure you've learned a lot. And I'm saying to you now, there's this one girl watching you right now, and maybe she's gone past the 6 months you had to wait for, your next close.
Yeah.
She's gone past a year, and she's like, this is not for me, I can't do it. And she's probably gone to try something else, and it's also not working. She's frustrated, she doesn't know what to do. She needs direction right now. Yeah. What would you say to her?
I would say hang in there. As long as you are confident that this is the role, this is the sector you want to play, nothing good comes easy. And whatever setback you're going through right now is going to be a story. Look at me telling my story now. I can laugh about it today, but then it wasn't funny.
Because at some point you were living in a hotel whilst you were looking for your house. Yeah.
House. So I would say hang in there, and I would say all of it is part of your success story. Another thing I would tell you is that sometimes you're just going through tests. The phase you are right now. Learn as much as you can learn. Build your tolerance, build your endurance, because there is usually light at the end of the tunnel. I remember there was an estate that was marketing some years back, I think 2020. The phase 1 of it came out. I marketed, and I didn't sell even one. Because I knew it was a good product. I just felt like I can sell this thing. Guess what? Phase 2 started. I said to myself, I'm going to sell this thing. And as God will have, June of that year, I think I sold about 6 units within 2 weeks. So someone will see me selling 6 units and be like, wow.
You don't know how much you
know.
Yes.
I kept watering. Sometimes you have to just keep watering. The water, the seed, once you sow the seed, all you need to do is to keep watering it.
That story is interesting. I remember I had said I was going to share a story earlier, and this is another story I'm going to add to this. So I think when we were talking about women investing and all, I know of a lady who worked in the corporate world for a really long time, and her goal was to, buy properties in different countries, different locations, put them up for rent, and she can earn rental income, and then she would retire. She became a member of different boards. So all she wants to do is sit in her living room and watch African Magic. Guess what? She's living that life now.
Wow.
So she bought houses in the UK, in Nigeria, in America, in different places. She's also a member, she's also a director in several boards that she earns, what do they call it again? Royalty. She earns, she earns from those boards, from sitting, and all of that. And then she wakes up in the morning, she sits in her living room, and she's watching African Magic. Wow. And then the alerts just keep coming in. Wow. So first of all, I think a lot of women need to decide what their future, that's vision board.
Success
you need to
means to
you need to find out you need to envision what that tomorrow is like for you, what you want it to be like for you, and then begin to work towards it. I don't think there's anything that would pay and take care of your retirement as well as real estate, right? So if we begin to realize that, I don't think there's any asset, that you can put down and it would be giving you rental income. Talk about buying luxury items, wristwatches and co. Do they rent it out?
No.
And be earning, monthly income on it?
No.
It's so the way to create, build and sustain wealth, for me, the safest. I know there are other ways, but the safest that we know, and it will give you that peace, that you need. And the second story is around planting seeds and watering it. I love to grow greens in my compound, so I want to make quick vegetable soup. I need to have water leaf and ugu, fresh. The taste is different, trust me. If you can, try it.
Okay.
Plants, use the buckets.
Yes,
and put it at your back. And, feed them, water it well, and make that soup. You see, the afang soup is not the same. The edikaiko soup is not the same. So, the last the last set I planted, it took a while. Then, for some reason they were suffering, they didn't do well. I went to the market by myself. I got angry. I went and bought seeds from different vendors, and we just planted everything. My dear, ugu doesn't grow like, it's not a 2 days or 3 days. Every day I'll go there. I'll be watching the ground. I'll be watering it. One day I opened one of the places, but I had to be patient. Yeah, I had to water and keep watering. Exactly. And now if you see, it is so beautiful. Like my whole wall, like I have like an end-to-end wall. I made, climbing this thing for it, and it's so green. It's so luscious. It's so beautiful, and those waiting days are no longer there. Exactly. Right? So you just need to make the effort of planting the seed, making sure you water, you have to water. Exactly. And then, when the harvest season comes, no one will remember. When people come to my house now, they see it, they're like, oh, wow, this is beautiful, green.
We're waiting.
Yes. No, they don't know that part until I tell them. Exactly. I mean, thank you so, so much. And I am very sure that she has heard you, and, she's definitely doing all that you have, told her to do. This takes us to the interesting part. Okay. We're done now with the interview. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, normally we'll say a trivia question or a game or, whatever. So as a mother, yes, what's that one superpower that you would like to have? Because it takes a lot to juggle, being this realtor, this successful realtor that you are, managing the home front, managing your clients, managing developers, managing your staff, because you're also an employer, right, at Tama Homes. Yes. There's a lot to juggle. So what's that one superpower that if you had right now, it will make you happy, and it will probably make the difference?
To read the mind of my kids.
Hey. Why do you want to read the mind of your kids?
Because, sometimes, especially when you're an high achiever mom, you're working really hard, you want to instill discipline in them, you want them to push for themselves as well. Thank God I have wonderful kids. I'm grateful to God for that. Honestly, I have kind and wonderful kids. So, but sometimes...
it tells a lot about you too, and the training that you're giving.
Yes. So sometimes I ask myself, am I doing well?
Are you doing enough?
Am I doing enough?
I believe me, I think all mommies have that guilt, guilty mommy times and syndrome.
Exactly. Yeah. Am I doing enough? Are they saying things from my point of view? Are they happy? I know I try my best and all of those. I just, sometimes I think about things like that. Are they really happy? In 10 years' time, if they have to talk about their mother, what would they say? Because I talk about my mother every day. Time. I had a fantastic
Welcome to my world.
I can't talk. I can't have any conversation with someone I don't want.
Welcome to my world.
So I want my kids to be able to be proud about me that way, and know that, say all the good things, how I've been able to,
guide them, impact their life.
Exactly.
And,
so I just want to be in their mind sometimes to say that, are they really seeing me the way I'm seeing myself?
From me to you, sis, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
I've gotten to see them a couple of times in the community. Yes. Thankfully, she lives in a VCH community. So truly, she's one of those who converts her money into real estate, because she bought her house from me. Yes. She lives in our community with her children. Yes. And like she said, she loves a house that would, have the space where her children can be themselves, play, run around. I see them riding their bicycles and stuff. I have seen them a couple of times. I have actually asked for feedback. I spoke to your son and I said, yes, I think you were one of the first few people to move into Victoria, Crest 5 at the time. And I asked, do you love the estate? Do you love the community? What do you like about it? And he said he loves the space. It's a beautiful community and all of that, I don't think I've mentioned this to you, but when I see kids, within the community, I just ask, are you happy here? Do you like it here? For those I know their mom, I get to tell them. For those that I don't, I just take the feedback. And for me, it's the essence. That's the entire essence of what we do. Beyond the money, beyond actually the value, it is, even the young ones, how do they feel in those communities? And those feedbacks, for me, is the essence of what we do. And he told me that he was happy there. And that's, last year when, people were just still moving in. And she's a striking example of what exactly she has said to you. And, it is not hearsay, this is practicality, on this chair. And all she has said is who she is, what she has done, her story, her authentic real estate story. And if you have listened to her from beginning to end, I'm sure you know that if you try out some of these strategies, some of these things that she has said has worked for her, if you are that one lady who is listening and you're struggling right now, then you already have more than half of your problem solved, because she has told you that she is possible, and so are you. She was possible, she became possible, and so are you. So thank you so much for listening, and I don't want to leave that hanging. Your children are doing well. They are proud of you. From me to you, and that was what I was trying to say earlier. I've had the cause to have that conversation once to find out that they were happy there, and for what it's worth, that's more than enough.
Yes.
That he says he's happy there in that community is more than enough. Not every child has that opportunity, but you worked hard and you created it for them. And for me, that's more than enough. Keep doing all that you're doing. And your reward starts from right here on earth before we even go to any other place. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Mass. I hope you've learned a thing or two or even more. Don't forget to like, share, send your questions if you have any, and I will do well to answer them. And then lastly, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for joining.